Everybody. I'm watching this guy. Let me just zoom in a pinch if I can. Satan's Guide to the Bible. So I'm like kind of near 30 minutes in, and one of the criticisms I heard this from another guy, but it was like criticisms of Psalm. Sorry, this is I got a bad phone, but Psalm 137, and they typically have an issue with this last verse here. So I had to pretty much break this down, and as I understand Scripture, even as a doubting Thomas myself, I still affirm Scripture. And I read this in context because you can't just read the Bible with verses you don't like and then just say, "Oh, the Bible's wrong because it's a system of morality that I see." So for one thing, I just read this and I read it. For one, I read it in different styles. The Bible has different styles, just to be read in. Another thing is, I read the context, the narrative context. What is all this saying? If I just read one, that would be a problem. Same thing you could do with pretty much any text you read. If a Bible say, I mean, if a recipe say, dump the eggs into the pan and then mix, and then in the passage before that it says put the flour in it. If I only read dump the eggs in the pan and mix, I'm making eggs instead of baking a cake. So that's me reading it out of context. If I read it in context and it says, "Hey, add the butter, add the flour," and the previous passages before, then I'm likely more making a cake. If it says put the cake mix in, put the cake mix in the pan, put the eggs in the pan, and mix. So just that's just a small thing. But let me just read this because I need to break this down because I don't know, people can be a little narrow-minded and a little hyper-fixated on their perspective versus the perspective that's best to describe what the text is saying. So, okay, Psalm 111, I'm at 137. This is the New Living Testament. So let's just recite it. "Beside the rivers of Babylon, we sat and wept as we thought of Jerusalem." So, context. I haven't read this stuff before. I haven't read this stuff after. But the context here is just saying to me, I could be wrong, but they're at the rivers of Babylon. They sat and wept. So they're in Babylon. This is probably by Jewish people, the people who, as we thought of Jerusalem, used to live in Jerusalem. Now let's read what this thought bubble says. Okay, referring to the first verse, Zion, also in verse 3. All right, so as we thought of Jerusalem or Zion. "We put away our harps, hanging them on the branches of poplar trees, for our captors demanded a song from us." So, obviously what happened, they typically have a lot of these instruments and they play and they express joy, but they say, "Hey, no, put those things away." And they put them on trees, and their captors, which is probably the Babylonians, said, "Hey, let's hear those songs you always say, and our tormentors insisted on a joyful hymn. Sing us one of those songs of Jerusalem." So, okay, sing these famous Jerusalem songs, because apparently they know. So, and it's probably like a sense of like mocking or something like that. He says here, "How can we sing the songs of the Lord or Yahweh while in a pagan land?" So they're they're in their enemy's house, and their enemy is saying, "Hey, do that thing you used to do at home," And he's not a good neighbor. He's not a good host. He's not making you feel very welcome. You're this place. They've obviously been dominated, right? So they want them to do something that is typically associated with a happy feeling, and it's not. They're not happy. So they say, "Hey, we can't do this because we're not at home. We're not in our house." So it says here, "If I forget you, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget how to play the harp." So since this guy typically likes to take things very literally in the Bible, he probably is assuming, "Oh my God," or he doesn't care, right? Because he picks and chooses when he want to care, or he picks and chooses when things are literal and things are not. But to me, I take this figuratively. If I forget you, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget how to play the harp. So I think it's like not an idiom, but kind of like an idiom. So the theme here is, I don't want to forget you, Jerusalem, because I'm in a pagan land. May my tongue stick to the roof of my mouth. So is this literal, dude? Probably not. It's figurative. This sounds kind of like an account, but also using poetic language of hyperbole. If I fail to remember you, may my tongue stick to the roof of my mouth. So you know how like dudes, I'm black, right? So if they say like, oh, I put that on my grandmama's grave or something like that, do they really mean that? Or is it just a something they say, like an idiom? If I fail to remember you, so yeah, top. If I don't make Jerusalem my greatest joy. So while he's there in a pagan land in Babylon, pagan land, if I don't make Jerusalem my greatest joy. So while he's there, this person is encouraging themselves to make Jerusalem their greatest joy, to not forget Jerusalem. Okay, oh Lord, remember what the Edomites did on the day the armies of Babylon captured Jerusalem. So he's calling to the Lord. Again, some aspects are literal, some aspects are figurative, some aspects are idiom. We don't speak consistently. Like it's like saying stuff in sarcasm suddenly. I'm not gonna always speak literally. Sometimes I'm speaking in sarcasm. Destroy it, they yelled. So when the Edomites, on the day the armies of Babylon captured Jerusalem, destroy it, they yelled. Level it to the ground. O Babylon, you will be destroyed. So let me get this first half, because I know that you want me to read the rest of it, and I will. O Lord, remember what the Edomites did on the day the armies of Babylon captured Jerusalem. So he's telling the Lord, telling Yahweh, remember when the Edomites captured us, overran us, beat us, and took over Jerusalem. And they said, destroy it, destroy Jerusalem. Oh Babylon. Now, again, he's saying that, remember that. Now he says, oh Babylon, you will be destroyed. Happy is the one who pays you back for what you have done to us. Happy is the one who takes your babies and smash them against the rocks. So if we take this just in, if we just take this last verse, number 9, happy is the one who takes your babies and smashes them against the rocks. Let's read it. If we read it in context, what is it saying? Is it telling you, hey, here, people of Jerusalem, definitely you're going to be a happy person if you take these babies and smash them against the rocks? No, it is not. If you read this in the context in which it's said, it is suggesting here that, Lord, do you remember what happened when the Edomites took us and captured us, and now they want us to sing songs, and we're in a pagan land, and we were sat by the rivers of Babylon. Oh, Babylon, you will be destroyed. And mind you, happy is the one that pays you back. So pays you back with what? When they destroy it and level it to the ground. Mind you, and leaving them like that beside the rivers and wept. So mind you, they are captured. They are essentially slaves. And he says, happy is the one who pays you back for what you have done to us, which is essentially destroyed their place, leveled it to the ground, and now mocking you. Sing to us one of the songs of Jerusalem. Happy is the one who takes your babies and smashes them against the rocks. So what they're saying is that he hopes that the person, the one who pays them back and essentially conquers them, because who has a peaceful conquering of another nation? It's a bloody mess. It's when people get captured, it's not like, usually, as far as I understand, they get overrun, people die, and then the captors, the losers, are captured. It's not just the men that are captured, it's in their entire families, and they have to live under this other kingdom that overran them, that conquered them, and live as slaves. So to me, I think this is hyperbole. I know, excuse, I guess, but it's not an excuse because it's hyperbole. He says pay them back. And it's not just like a literal taking their babies and smashing them against the rocks. If you take that literally, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not sure why you don't understand language or literary devices like hyperbole, but it's hyperbole. If you say, if somebody, let's say like you were hungry and someone gave you like a rice and you said, "Damn, I am so full. Wow, that is." So does that mean that that grain of rice just made you entirely full, or were you being sarcastic by exaggerating such a small, the opposite of what you're saying? So I'm just saying it's a literary device. It just means that they want God to essentially just do exactly, pays you back to do exactly what they did to them. Not literally grabbing their kids and their babies and stuff and smashing them against the rocks, but just essentially conquering them. To have God remember what the Edomites did. So maybe, this is a guess, but maybe the Edomites could have did something similar to this. Smashes, maybe, who knows? But yeah, that again, and I was gonna mention like what Japan did to like the Nanking massacre, because I mean, of course they're not. I don't think they were believers, but like, that's like modern war, and what they did to them, egregious. But point is, this verse don't really talk about that. Whatever this person believes this verse is talking about, it's not talking about. I guess he said, "Happy baby smashing." Is that like a call to action? Because apparently he thinks that's a call to action. I don't think it's a call to action. Now, it would kind of be one thing if he was like, okay, well, we taking this literally. Like if the Jewish culture said, hey, let's take this literally. They're just smack every time we see a foreign baby or something. Or if you find a Babylonian baby, then let's just like punt them into the rocks or something. It's just like, no, that's dumb. I'm sorry. Like I'm pretty sure they got the context. And if you were a person who understood like literary devices, you'd understand what this means too. Read this in context. It's just a person wanting freedom and essentially feeling a little vindictive, a little angry, a little. I guess that's the good word. Is wanting revenge. They want the Lord to give them revenge because they're being captured. They are very not happy. They are sitting down and crying, and they're forced to sing. Insist that they sing a joyful hymn. I hope that's enough. I mean, again, one of the biggest things I've ever heard an atheist say is, I don't care. So I don't think this is going to matter to them. But whatever argument they're making is pretty false. I don't understand what they're talking about.